And so the facilitator contacted me and called me. He said, Mr. Woods, he said, I have your DNA results. He said, would you like to know what it is? I said, yes. He said, okay, well, he said, are you sitting down? I said, yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I was already ready for whatever. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, when that man told me it was 99.99% zero probability that girl was not mine, bro, I was like, piss wasn't even the word to even describe, right?
Yeah. You mentioned this being your third marriage, and of course, you briefly told me your story a little bit, man. I want to give you the floor, man, and
sure.
and what is this truth you're referring to regarding family that you would like to?
So, like I said, I'm a father of 6 children, 2 adult boys, 4 girls. I have 2 young adult daughters, and then I have a teenager. Actually, I have 2 teenagers now. Lord have mercy. Now I think she's 12. She's 12. My youngest one is 12. My second youngest one is 15. But anyway, so this age, bro, I'm getting old, man. All these dates and ages, bro, it's killing. But yeah, so I'm a father of 6, man, and so my 2 older sons were from 2 separate marriages. Okay, I went to the Navy. As a matter of fact, I left home in 1988. Graduated Cooley High School in Detroit in 1988.
That's from the movie Cooley High.
But this was in Detroit, not Chicago. But this was
okay. Nice.
So graduated Cooley High School in '88, and then that same year I joined the Navy. Actually, my birthday is in October, and I joined the military in September 26, 1988. My dad had to sign me over because I wasn't 18 yet. But I told him I wanted to leave. I wanted to, go into the movie. Go to the Navy, and it was actually inspired off of a movie, Top Gun.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I saw that movie the first time. I ain't talking about part 2, but part 2 was dope. Anyway, but part 1, when I saw the aircraft carrier, man, and I saw them plane taking off for the aircraft, I said, man, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Well, I didn't get that far, but I did go on the actual. I was actually stationed on the actual ship that Top Gun was filmed on. I also the same ship that Hunt for Red October was filmed on, was the USS Enterprise. They now decommissioned it. They now have done away with it and scrapped it. But that was my military experience. So I joined in '88, served from '88 to '92. Seen a lot of stuff too, man. Seen some people, get killed and things of that nature. But it was a good experience overall, just meeting new people. And so I got married in, I believe, 90. I think in 90 or 91. And my first son was born in 92, in April of 92. And so I had got married to my first wife. Actually, she was a childhood friend of mine. We grew up together from, in the neighborhood. Our families knew each other and things of that nature. So wasn't a Christian, thought I was, but wasn't, looking back at my life. And so my first son was from that marriage. That marriage, ended through adultery and things of that nature. Actually, and the reason why I'm sharing this is not to attack or go after anybody, but I'm just sharing my story. It's my story, it's my experience, and I just want to share it.
Absolutely.
So basically, what happened was my first wife. We were young, 20. What your 20s, bro. You think you know everything, you don't know nothing. But you need 20, right? And so the marriage ended due to adultery. Actually, my first son, I had got a DNA test because I wanted to know if he was mine. Me being blind and so in love, my first wife at the time, she did not really know what she wanted out of life, but we got married anyway. And so she went home back to Detroit to supposedly tell someone that she used to be with that it was over. Now, why can't you do that on the phone? why can't you just write a letter? You know what I'm saying? Why can't you just, hey, look, it's over with because you don't see me no more. You know what I'm saying? That thing. But no, she said she had to do it. I said, okay. And so I let her go. Prior to letting her go, of course, we had sex before she left. I'm just being real. We had sex before she left.
Sure.
And so she goes back home to Detroit. And then, bro, I'm just like, bro, I'm missing her like man, crazy. I'm just like, man, my wife gone, and we had an apartment. I was in Newport News, Virginia, man. I remember like it was like yesterday, Newport News, Virginia, and it was a friend of mine, actually, one of my Navy buddies. Well, two of my Navy buddies, man. One who had passed. His name is David Allen. This dude, man, this brother, man, helped me through a lot. I mean, bro, I was having some thoughts, like suicidal thoughts during that time. Another brother of mine, good friend of mine, in the Navy, Sterling Giles. Bro, I remember when they left and the house was just empty, man. I was in a dark house. I was just, I didn't have anybody, right? Yeah. And my wife at that time, she had a son as well. And so she left with him and they went back to Detroit. And I went to my friend's house, man, and I was just so broken and so just so lost, man. At the time, knocked on my friend's door, man, and he's like, "Man, what's going on, man? You good?" Man, I just broke down and cried. He said, "Man, what's wrong? What's wrong?" So I told him what happened and all that kind of stuff, right? So she comes back to Virginia, and she tells me that she's pregnant, and we weren't sure who the baby's father was. So
immediately you wasn't sure?
I wasn't sure because she said she had sex with another person, with the guy that she said she saying bye to, right? And so so I said, man, so now I'm really floored. So make a long story short, I had a DNA test and he ended up, thank God he was my son. And so then later on, try to make the marriage work and all that kind of stuff. It just didn't work. It just didn't work. I was doing my thing. She was doing her thing. She ended up getting pregnant again. And this time it was a daughter. And this one was born in 95. The girl was born in 95. Now during this time, we had already gotten divorced, I believe. I think I'm trying to remember. 95. I think it was already divorced. I was seeing my second son's mother. So now I'm creeping over here, creeping over there. I was pre-TLC. You know what I'm saying? So we weren't together anymore. So I'm seeing this girl over here, and she's pregnant. My ex-wife now at the time. First ex-wife was pregnant. She says that she would know if it was mine or hers because I was sleeping with her and also sleeping with this one over here. And come to find out, I got a DNA test, and that one was not mine. And so got the DNA test. The DNA results came back, and actually, the people that she had filed child support on me, my first wife had filed child support on me for that agency. They conducted the DNA test. And so the facilitator contacted me and called me. He said, "Mr. Woods," he said, "I have your DNA results." He said, "Would you like to know what it is?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Okay, well," he said, "Are you sitting down?" I said, "Yeah." And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I was already ready for whatever. You know what I'm saying? I saw the girl. Matter of fact, I went to Detroit. That's where my first wife had went back home to, I believe. Went to Detroit, saw her and everything. And bro, I got the results of the DNA test when I was back in Detroit visiting my daughter that I thought was my daughter at the time. Man, listen, when that man told me it was 99.99% zero probability that girl was not mine, bro, I was like, pissed wasn't even the word to even describe, right? Yeah. And so, needless to say, my first wife was like, she don't know how this happened, whatever. Like, not know how it happened. Yeah, you know how it happened. You was with somebody else and you was with me. You know what I'm saying? But so she was like, basically, I guess flabbergasted, whatever like that. But now I'm starting to get attached to this baby, but not as attached to whereas I'm going to take care of a child that ain't mine. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, needless to say, and this child has my last name to this day. I don't know why, because I'm not a father. But and again, this is not a dig against my first wife, or the daughter now. Again, just sharing my story and sharing my experience, because I believe this stuff is important, man, that we need to address and we need to deal with. And so fast forward now, I get married to my second wife. That didn't work. And so I have a son from my second wife. So those two marriages didn't work. I got divorced from her in 98, I believe, 98, 99, give or take around that time. And so I met my wife now, and later of 98, got married in 2000. And so I got saved, got born again. I was born again later on after I got married to my wife Sharon. And that was, man, when I say to you, it was like I was actually seeing myself outside of myself, looking at the panorama of my life from the time that, you know, I joined the military to where I was when my former friend had asked me. He said, because I was telling my story. I said, man, I was doing this and doing that, and I was a Christian, man. He said, whoa, hold on. He said, you was a Christian? He said, you were a Christian when you was doing all this? and bro, I'm sitting there like, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I was. You know, he said, brother, are you sure you were a Christian when you was sleeping with this person, and you was doing this, and you was at the club over here, and you was overseas doing this? And I'm like, in my mind, I wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I dipped here and dipped here, but I mean, I love God. He's like, bro, he said, brother, I don't believe if this was your pattern of your life, that you can honestly say that you were a Christian. And I got offended, bro. I was like, man, who do you think you're talking to, bro? And this was my mentor, you know what I'm saying? But I respected him enough to hear what he had to say, but I was still feeling some kind of way at the same time. And bro, when he broke down to me what a changed life looks like once the gospel has affected your soul and infected your soul.
Yeah.
He said, brother, based on the scriptures, bro, he said, if you were truly repentant and you were truly saved, this would not be your pattern of life. And it's no different. It's no different than we say a person being a professing Christian being a homosexual, or being a professing Christian being a child molester. You know what I'm saying? It's like we want to put the top tier sins up here. When you up here lying, cheating, stealing over here, and thinking that, oh, I'm still a Christian. No, bro, you gotta examine yourself to see if you're in the faith.
Absolutely.
And that's what I had to do. I had to really look at my life, bro. And so I looked at my life and I saw how I knew, again, like I said earlier, I knew just enough, man, to be dangerous. I knew just enough to even deceive myself, thinking that I was saved. And so I had to apologize to my wife, you know, because I said, man, I thought I was a Christian. I said, you know, I thought we got married when I was saved. And I said, after talking to this brother, and she knew who he was, I said, and just looking at my life, I said, man, I'm not saved. And I ended up getting saved later on in my marriage here. But I say that, man, because, you know, looking at the experiences that I had with my first two wives, and how those things ended. And again, this is no stab and no, you know, jab at them, but the effects of the lies and the deception and the mistreatment and from both women affected my relationships with my two boys. Let's go.